I'm Missy Day, and I'm the founder of What's Your Story, and welcome to our What's Your Story podcast. And with me today is Michelle Housebeck and Missy Severance.
Hello!
Yay! I just want to say that you could feel lucky, or maybe not, that you haven't been here to hear our conversations in like the last 5 minutes, because it's been quite enlightening, to say the least.
Here, I'll give you a hint about what they were about.
You went there.
I did. I'm
She
sorry.
did. So we'll spare you the details for that and not go to that conversation again. So today we're going to have like a loosey-goosey show, because we had 2 different sets of guests that were going to join us, all 4 canceled. And then I sent out a call for guests and didn't hear from anybody except Missy. Yay! So thank you, Missy.
Yay! You're welcome for having nothing to do today. Just kidding. I'm actually really happy to be here with you guys. You're amazing.
Well, it's good to have you.
Yes, we love having you on. And the show must go on, so
That's right.
it's going on.
What's going on? So we were just chatting about what our topic should be for today, and so we landed on a topic that I'm sure everybody can relate to at some point in your life or career, and if you haven't, it's coming. So if you've ever thought your life was going in one direction, have you ever been surprised when it starts going in a completely different direction? And I think you might be in the middle of that right now, Missy.
Yes, I am actually. So this whole last year, since probably even October before, when I had my hip injury and I was down and out on my couch for months, right, recovering, I knew I needed to start sharing my story, because I have a lot of things that has happened in the past, especially health-wise, that I know that I can share with others and help, let them know that you can make it through it, that it's not going to be easy, but there is a brighter side to that. So I started working with motivational speaking, and because I knew that I was supposed to be out there on stage. And I'm really excited about doing that. But then my health took another turn for the worse. So yay, but that is my life. And so I know I've learned to have to just kind of go with the flow, and I have goals set. But those goals that you set, sometimes they do need to be adjusted, because you have to give some grace to yourself. You have to give some healing time for whether it's your marriage or your family or you're just yourself, and there's a lot of things that I've not talked about before in my past that have been really difficult. And so now addressing those and getting some counseling and whatnot, and I felt like I was getting back on the right path. And then our personal business now is in a state where we need to pull back, and maybe pull me back into it and actually start addressing some things so we can help grow that business. And it's funny how I feel personally, because it's funny how when you have a goal set to help others and to inspire people, and God has your back, right? That Satan knows that too. And he works so hard to stop you. Mm-hmm. The harder you fight and the harder that you are trying to help others to be better, Satan does not want that. And he will stop you. And he will just put on all the brakes that he can and throw things at you. And my favorite quote all the time is just to be like, "Not today, Satan." In fact, my kids say it a lot of times, and I'll look at them and they'll tell me, the things they're going through, or friends that I have, and they'll just stop and be like, "And what do you say?" And they're like, "Not today, Satan." And so we love it. It's kind of a funny thing, but it's very true, and it's hard to balance where do I stop, getting off track or listening to the things that are being told that will throw me off track, and when do I really need to say, maybe that goal doesn't have to be on the back burner, but it's going to take me a little longer to get to that. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. And to not be so hard on yourself for that, because things happen. That's life for everybody. Things will happen, it'll throw you off track, but the point is don't stay off track too long. Stay focused, give yourself grace, and just move forward. And so honestly, that is probably the best summary I can go of what we're going through right now. And I'm still excited to be speaking with people. I actually have a couple of opportunities coming up just within my own with my own circle that I have, but I want to branch out more. But we'll just see where that all fits in the future. So, but I don't know. How are you guys? Are you guys going through? Because everybody does. But how are you guys going through, events like that? Or you maybe have in the past before, or?
I think to some degree that always happens in life, and certainly when you have your business, you think you're going to go down one direction, and you go down lots of different paths. It just depends. But I would say this year has probably been. I don't want to. The worst isn't the right word I'm looking for, but it's what comes to mind. So I'm just going to say it. The worst for that, because God was very clear about what He wanted me to give up this year. And so I have been obedient, and I'm going to do that for next year. But on the other hand, it's like, so I want you to give up corporate training, okay? But I'm going to keep this one, and then I want you to cut down on coaching. Okay, I'm going to have only 4 clients next year, but this year I'm going to have 45 clients before the end of the year. And then just recently, I've been praying about, direction about what your story to be, more clear, than I would hear exactly, what He wants. And so, so we've tried, even though there's a lot of faith-based stories and God is present in a lot of stories and what your story, we haven't ever advertised it as a faith-based event because we don't want to be exclusive. But God has been very clear about, for me speaking, that last night He was like, I want you to glorify me in your story. I want to be the center of attention in your story. And so I was like, okay, okie dokie. And because I was like, because I've been like reaching out and applying for speaking, opportunities. So it was like, all right, then my focus, then if that is the message, then I need to focus on faith-based events then. And, there's lots of women's conference here all the time for that, which I've never put my name in, which is kind of curious to me why I've never done that. But it's like, well, those days are over.
You received your message loud and clear.
I did. So I'm excited about doing that. I don't know where all this is going to go. And I think, it's a test of faith, right? When you just go all in and just see what happens.
Yeah. I'm excited
Ride
to
the
see
wave.
where it happens. Yeah. Life's a journey. It's a roller coaster. All those
Oh, yes.
different analogies. Yeah. It's my year this year. My word has been change. And I knew it was coming at the end of last year. And it's somewhat similar to yours is with my business. I had to let go of a lot of clients and certain areas that I was handling it, which, financially it's been, I knew it was going to come. And I'm trying to focus more on what it is that I absolutely love to do in my business, but then also what I love to do that's not necessarily in the business, like what your story is part of that, giving back, teaching at different nonprofits, which I've been able to do. I'm still in the midst of figuring out how it all is going to work out and where my time is going to be spent. And but I knew that, I get a little antsy, right? Like, okay, I just want the answers now. What do I need to do? Give me the list and I'll check them off and I'll go do it. Good to go. But it doesn't work like that. I have heard loud and clear this whole year from God that slow down. I am building a foundation for you. If I tell you what it is, that's this, this big momentous thing that is going to happen, you're going to go right for it and have no foundation to rely upon. Like that is literally what has been said to me. And I'm like, okay. And it passed 6 months into the year and I'm like, all right, can I know now? Now? Anything?
Yeah, and he's like, no, I'm not going to tell you because you'll mess it up.
Nope. He's like, continue doing
That's
it.
exactly how I feel.
Yeah, and it's, I can look back though on the last 6 months and they're some are big, but like a lot of them are mini adjustments I've made. I mean, I let go of all these clients, right? That was like the huge beginning of it. But then I'm trying to get my health in order, and right, it's not just the business. But I can see, I'm like, all right, I can see a little bit of this foundation starting to be laid. But I just have to continue to, little by little, that little becomes a lot, right? That's what it is. I'm just impatient.
Oh, aren't we all though?
Yes.
Yeah, and especially in the environment that we live in now, where everything's right now, like a microwave. Well, I want it right now. I want you to tell me now.
It's been 5 minutes. Let's go. What's the big thing? What am I supposed to do? What's the path?
And then curious, because we talked about this before when we were talking with Emily, how when you don't move, the thing will move without you. Like when we were talking about What's Your Story.
Yeah.
It's like, What's Your Story was like, okay, I'm tired of waiting for you two girls. I'm just going to grow and move on without you.
Yeah, and we're like, hold on now. Because part of that conversation is, right, it was started as an event. That's how Missy started it years ago, and that's what it's been. It's been an event, and it's grown every single year. But now, you've talked about it, the What's Your Story Academy. It's in its beta testing phase, and we have the podcast, and there's hopefully like a book on the horizon. So we were talking before that one conversation, but I'm like, oh my gosh, What's Your Story is a brand. Like, it's not just an event anymore. And it grew into this.
Yeah.
And we're
In spite of us.
hold on. Even though we're doing the things that it's growing into, it's still it's just interesting.
Yeah, when I bought the, when I held the name, so What's Your Story actually can be a business name, which I can't believe that was even available.
No.
Oh, nice.
So I went in and snagged that, and then I was sitting there looking at it, and I was like, huh.
It's going to be an LLC.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
You have many branches underneath. You have the academy, you have the speaking, and then your pop-ups and books, and that's so exciting for you guys. That is really going to be.
It's very exciting.
It'll be neat to look like 5 years or 10 years down the road and look back at this. Even watching this video later on, or all your beginning videos, they'll be like, "Oh, look at when we were still babies."
Well, that's interesting because, I mean, I know you can. I can look back too. I mean, I joke, when I first came into the What's Your Story picture, it was in a nursing home. And they had an awesome auditorium. I just have to say that. But we were in a nursing home. And to look, I mean, we took it to freaking Huntington Beach, like, in 2021, like, during the pandemic. I mean, it's cool. So it'll be very interesting to see where we're at. And
I know, it's fun, but it's like you want to like get ahead of it.
Right.
Or, ahead of myself, because people, you're like, well, when are you going to bring it here? Or you should bring it up here, and then we could do this combined event. And it's like, sure, yeah. And I just feel like, okay, calm down.
You're going to need a team to organize other states' events, because just one event alone is a lot of work into it.
we need a team of who's.
Yes.
That's right.
Team of What's Your Story who's.
But what's tricky about the who's for What's Your Story, well, in anything, but for What's Your Story is that it has to be somebody that believes in the power of story and understands and gets it, that, it's not just a business. It was never created to be a business, I should say, and now it is. But I don't want it to feel or look like a business.
Right.
Yep.
That's very true.
Yeah. And I was actually going to share this with you the other day just in talking, but I'll share it now. Just on the power of story. Our event, right, we have people on the main stage speaking, sharing their stories, adding value to the audience. But the power of story is all around us, one-on-one conversations. I had coffee with somebody that I've known for a couple years last week. And because I shared a piece of my story, and it was just a normal conversation, it wasn't like planned that way, that I've been sober for 7 years. I saw his face change, And he ended up sharing some stuff about his life that he never shares with anybody. And just, I think it felt good for him to share.
It's very healing, I'm sure.
Right? And I allowed that space just by sharing a piece of me. And there's just so much power, and it's all around us if you really start to pay attention.
And I've noticed since I've been in talking to people, and they're like, what have you been up to lately? And I tell them, excuse me, how I've been working on being a motivational speaker or just a storyteller and sharing my personal story. And just in the little conversations that I've been talking to people, because I feel like online and social media, I'm a little more hushed about it so I can share that at my bigger events. But one-on-one, I'll just talk to people and be a little more open. And then they'll share their story too. And they're like, wow, I've never even talked about that before. And then I tell them, your story would change lives if you shared that with people and all this. And they're like, oh, no, I would never share my story. Or just the conversations that they have with me is basically that they just feel their story just can't make a difference. And I sit there and talk to them about how much it can change, and you can see the wheels like turning in their head. And, oh, okay, it's okay to share my story, maybe not to the whole world, but to certain people, and how healing that can be for me and for them.
Right.
And people naturally love to help, generally, but we all have this desire to want to connect and to heal and to just serve other people. And I tell them all the time, if you're looking for a way to serve and you don't know where you fit, just start talking about your past or things you went through. It doesn't have to be to a huge, large crowd, but just start sharing and just watch how connections just happen and how lives are changed and how the healing process can happen. And their faces are just like explosion of like, oh my gosh, this is a thing. And it shocks me sometimes to think that, because I've always been so open about like my depression or about, the illnesses that I've had and the many hospital visits or the downtime or the life events that have happened to me, and not on a big platform, which is what I'm trying to do now, but on a personal level, just to hear the stories that come from them now and to watch their change. I'm not there for the whole thing in their daily lives, but the little moments that I see are such a big difference from before. And I just see them being able to function better, and their mental health is changed. They're taking more control of things and finding that power in helping others actually is in turn healing them by just talking about your story. And it's so, like, it makes me like really excited inside to see that magic happen. I absolutely, it's my favorite. And I've been doing that for years, but I'm like, I need to hit more people.
Yeah.
So that's what your story is. It's connecting in a larger group of community was basically what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
You're making a family and just a massive connection that people need in their lives. And so it's neat to watch it from the outside, and that's the perspective that I get. And so I'm just really excited for you guys, because it's so neat to watch. It's just amazing. So
I think this year, well, I say this every year, but I think this year there's something, I don't know, there's something about this year that feels different. And I don't know if it's because we're taking it to a different place or because of who's going to be there or what. I'm just not really sure.
hopefully afterwards you guys can look back and be like, that's what it was.
Oh yeah, there's magic.
Magic.
And for you guys can see the, like last year when I was witnessing some of the things you guys were talking about, what happened afterwards, and how you guys you had the opportunity to sit back and observe more.
Yeah.
And just the changes that you saw. But you guys, part of the, I wouldn't say downside, but part of the thing for you guys is you don't see the daily lives that it affects for these people that leave and walk away. You see some of them, but I mean, there was so many people there last year, and to keep connected with such a larger audience, you can just only imagine the change that happened for them. You guys got to see bits and pieces of that change, and even that was overwhelming for you guys. But to know everybody there walked away with something, everyone did. And that's
a lot.
the hope for,
Well, I'm really excited about, so when Emily started, I had her look at Matthew West's Pop We website. And so I love the fact that they have an opportunity for people to send their videos in and create that online community. And so when we do the website, we're going to have that as an opportunity where people can send in their videos.
Share their
that's gonna be
stories.
amazing.
So it'll be like an ongoing thing.
Yeah,
Yep.
that'll be there for however long you keep that site up, you know.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
There's lots of good stuff on the horizon.
It's kind of like your TEDx version of What's Your Story that you can go and watch. Oh, I'll be, you guys are going to get views out of me for sure. I'll just keep them going and playing. And
We have 1 subscriber already.
I know, right? just send me the link. I'll just sign up right away.
Super fan.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, someday Matthew West really has to come.
He should.
I mean, his whole career is based on story, other people's stories.
it is.
Did you hear that, Matthew West?
Yes, Matthew West.
You are invited to What's Your Story.
Feel free to stop and bring Jesus with you on the way.
Yes.
Also,
Did you see recently him playing the drums? Yes. Jesus
Yes.
plays the drums.
and did you
apparently.
hear him talk about his story, the power of story?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, ugh.
He needs
You just
to
have
speak.
to be here.
You have to.
Jonathan
catch-
Rumi. If you know Jonathan Rumi, we are trying to get a hold of him.
Yes.
I don't want to look desperate, but you know.
Desperate times.
Desperate. Yeah, right. Times call for
Come on,
desperate.
Jonathan, if you're listening to this, you are wearing a bracelet that was sent to you by Missy,
Yes.
the Morse code, right?
Morse code. You make
Yeah.
a difference.
Yeah. Just saying.
Yeah. I think it's a sign.
It's a sign.
That's right.
Reach out.
Hashtag Jonathan Rumi.
I'm surprised that you're not going to go try and get Keanu tomorrow.
I know. I love Keanu Reeves. His story helped me through a part of my life. I just read it over and over again and found everything he ever said. And we've been trying to find Keanu Reeves, and he is in town at Brooklyn Bowl tomorrow night with his band that he revived. I have my anniversary dinner, which I'm sure we could go do that, and Doug would be okay.
Or maybe, like-
but
You should
could
just go.
Send
That's
something.
what you're doing.
You could send something and include, like,
what's your story stuff?
What's your story
well,
stuff?
no, how his story impacted you, and now you're doing What's Your Story
Okay,
because of his story helping you.
I should do
That
that.
would be amazing.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Keanu Reeves and Jesus and Matthew West.
The fact that you put Keanu Reeves and Jesus, like, he's up there.
He is up there. Keanu Reeves does like Jesus-like things and wants no recognition for them. Like I love seeing, somebody filmed him doing something, right? And he's
Right.
actually trying to shy away from the camera and does not want recognition for it. That's why I love him.
I love that for his birthday, he goes to this bakery in New York, gets a cupcake, and then buys everybody that's around a cupcake.
Cupcake also.
Yeah. Just a good guy, man.
That's very true.
Keanu. Come on.
Yeah. It's time.
It's time.
I bet we could fill the Ahern with all those people.
I think we could. It'll happen. I know it'll happen. I know it will.
And someday we'll move out of the Ahern and be in something bigger.
That's right. And we'll travel and have multiple locations.
Traveling is always fun.
Yeah. So,
Now that we know that somebody that has a bus.
You do? Oh, sorry, I got really excited about that. Are you going to put on the whole sign? You get to wrap it with your own logo?
Yeah.
what's your
guys.
story?
I'm just getting like
Boss?
excited. I can just feel it. So happy for you guys.
It's gonna happen.
That's awesome.
Yes. Well, if you'd like to attend this year's, it is October 13th and 14th, which is a Friday and Saturday. It's in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Ahern Hotel. And right now we have a deal in August. So it's $50 off tickets and $187 off tables. The table is like already discounted. It's a ridiculous deal. It works out to like $100 a ticket. If you buy a table, you can split up the tickets with friends. So go buy some tickets.
Yeah, with $50 off, I just want to say that, you're going to be like moved and inspired and all the feels, but we're feeding you 3 times a day and we're watering you for 2 whole days.
Yep.
And there's going to be special goodies. Pink Box Donuts is one of our sponsors, and they're going to be bringing over a ton of donuts for Saturday. And so it's going to be a good time. So 50% off, $50 off is a really good deal for what you're going to get. So you don't want to miss it.
That's right.
I bought my ticket because I'm a big fan.
You were the first one.
I know I was.
You are a super
I bought
fan.
it back. Hello, are you guys just realizing this? Do I have to wave my arms more and
I'm
make
gonna
big
get you a
face to
cape.
show? And, super fan. What's your story, super fan cape? I'll wear it.
I know you will. That's
I'll
why
fly
I'm gonna
around that room.
find
and be like,
one.
Yes. Shazam. No, wait. I guess I can't. I gotta think of my own call name thing. Okay, anyway. Sorry.
I can think of something.
Okay.
I know
No,
it
I
was
won't
coming.
say it.
No. Absolutely no. But I could use it, just not for all time and eternity to be recorded.
Okay.
I don't know.
good
That might be a
times.
bad thing if I share that only at the Vegas location.
All right. Yeah.
Well,
that-
now you're going to have to come just for that
I know.
tidbit of information.
You know, if you make me the cape, I will do it.
we need a micro story, and it should be that story.
If you want me to run up on stage and be like, just say my name and then run off stage, I'll do it randomly.
Yes.
I don't even care.
You heard it. It's on tape.
I will. I'll be the class clown, I guess.
That would be so funny and not tell Gerard what's happening. Oh my gosh.
We
Can
have
you
to do it.
imagine?
Okay, Gerard, if you're listening, we don't know what we're talking about. Nothing, just kidding.
Earmuffs.
I don't think he listens, anyways. Okay, it's done. We got to do that.
That would be hilarious.
Yes.
There are cape companies. I've looked online because I went to Universal Studios and they did not have the cape I wanted, and I was going to make my own, and we didn't. So
So it
I
can
need
be
to-
done.
It can be done. Mhm.
All right. It's going to be done.
Now I have to think of an outfit to go with it. I even have a pink. Actually, I'm only wearing black all the time, but I have a pink
Blazer?
jacket blazer that I can wear underneath it to kind
And
of.
I'll make it rainbow.
Yeah,
So-
like
oh,
the
yeah.
what's your story colors, like you see here.
Fabulous. Maybe we can get a metallic material. Mhm.
Glitter has to have glitter.
Oh, yes. Okay. All right. It's
Maybe we could get you like a scepter like that's in the shape of a banana.
You are a what's your story blessing, or I don't know. I'll think of something.
a light up banana.
Banana.
What?
You're slow.
Because I was in my own little world of like scepter.
The
and
What's
then
Your Story
I was like,
superhero.
make it
Super
pink.
fan.
Were you a Bank of America
Pink
when I
banana.
used to roam around as the fish goddess? Was
Yes, of course I was there when you did that.
Oh, you're going to be our little, or What's Your
What's even
Story
worse is you would take
fairy.
that fish around with the big lips and make people kiss it and take pictures. I have a picture of you, I think, kissing it. Is that one of the ones I sent over to you? Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was lovely.
Kissy fish.
Michelle got me last year for my birthday a scepter and a long pink cape.
With a hood.
Know her so well. Oh, with a hood? Those are the best capes. Mm-hmm. That turns like a cape into like, superhero tragedy possible, occurrence to
Yeah.
like seductive, like lady of the night. Maybe that's the wrong thing I was going.
Lady of the night.
Well,
Nice.
I do have a nickname for Missy.
Well, if I have to have one. Now we work on Michelle. Anyway.
I have nothing to say right
Okay. This is a great time
Let's
to
just say-
end the podcast.
What's your story is all this and more. No, I'm just kidding.
It is. We're fun. We're a fun bunch, and we'll all be there.
It's true. That is one
now. All
thing.
three
for
of
sure.
us.
All three of us.
Everybody, I think that attends and speaks, I feel like there's so much just fun and energy like this.
Yeah.
It's not just the sharing of stories and all that value. It is a lot of just good people.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean,
great.
there's like, run a show and an outline and there's some
Oh,
structure.
well, you need-
but it
yes.
is not like going to a stuffy conference and
No.
I mean, it's
It's not at all.
organic in the best way possible, but not unprofessional. It's just
You're
I
right.
think Gerard's saying too, he was sharing, about how when I asked him to MC and he was looking at it, that it was like, and he was like, oh my God, it's all day, and am I going to get through this? But it goes super fast.
Yep.
And so I hope nobody's looking at the fact that it is an all day event and thinking, oh, how am I going to make it? Or is it going to be boring or whatever? Because honestly, it does go very, very fast.
It goes fast. You are constantly entertained. We have a good amount of breaks in there too. So, and like Missy said, we feed and we water you all day long.
The food is good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the food's
food is good.
excellent. It's a great place. It's a non-gaming casino too. So, yeah, it's a fun time.
Yes. So come and see and join the fun for What's Your Story, October 13th and 14th. You can check us out at www.whatsyourstory.vegas and see our speakers and some fun clips of previous What's Your Stories. And we hope you join us. So thank you for checking out our podcast. And thank you to Michelle and Missy. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.